Hi. Okay. My mom complains about this all the time. Why do you wait? Why do you have to take 10 minutes before it starts? Hey, it sounds okay. Yes. Boom. All right. Fans on. Humidity's hot, but whatever. Camera's okay. Five of you here. Okay. All right. So we do. Um, yeah, I don't have like a nothing big to lead off on. We'll talk about something Michael Franzese said here in a second. What's up, bro? Everything's good. What's up, Alfie? Glenn, thanks for joining from Australia. Sean, what's up? It's all good. Sincere. Okay. Hey, Rob. Hey, Sincere. How are you? You guys can. You don't say my name anymore, Strupet. Say my name. Say my name. The rat short was awesome. That was so spontaneous. And there's really some things I want to do with music and video, and I have to figure out. No, I don't have to. I got. It. I have to learn. What? Where's Kingdom? Where's Kingdom? My man. As soon as he pops up, we have to talk. Yeah, I was. And so that one. So as far as views wise, and I don't check them like that all the time. No bull. The shorts sometimes I do. It's so weird on which ones will kind of take off and which ones won't. By the way, you don't YouTubers. I don't my YouTube channel because it's not that big right now, but doesn't make like much off shorts. You know what I mean? But it's so strange what will take off even in regular videos. It really is. It blows my mind. Okay. Yeah, but and more work could have been done on that. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw it right when it came out, but I paused it and then I put little sayings. Like if you see the one with Joey Test to the Hall Monitor, I put sayings over everybody's, but then when I went to go redo it, it all erased. And there was a couple more people involved, and I took them out because um one of them it would have started a nonstop thing again. And I know me, and I have been into it with that person before, and I would have got lost. I would have got lost in it. It would have been an ongoing kind of thing. It really would have. Who you be? Can't talk. But, but okay. But text me if you have something you really need to say right now. Okay. That's a prison guy. That boys. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into it. The diddler. Hey, little buddy. Coming from the diddler. I don't know if you should be saying little buddy. Just kidding. You know what I mean? It was funny. Um. Okay. Let's go ahead. You have a new fluffy slipper, Nina. That was fun. So you, I'm not sure. I was joking about the hat. Were you joking back? Um. You know that there was a guy here. He just got like 100 years. As a matter of fact, I didn't know him. No, I've met him, but this guy was going hard as far as dealing. Okay, lives in the mountains, shit, it doesn't matter. So here's the deal. This guy got a bunch of weight for around here. Thought he was slick. What he would do is he would take like a little bag, just any little bag. I had one actually kind of like it. A little bag and put stuff in a bag, hang it on the fence. This is in the mountains, okay? Hang stuff on a fence, and then people would drop up and take the shit, whatever it was. It was Fetty, Speed. He sold all of it. Put it in the bag, and then so you wouldn't see him and he wouldn't see you. It was all about text, and then show up. And I'm like, I knew somebody, and I actually went out there one day. Okay, it's when I was getting high. I wasn't even doing anything. I just was in the car with somebody, and I'm like, this is the stupidest thing ever. If they want this dude, they just put a camera up in these trees. You know, I thought he was like a rocket scientist. He was actually a nice guy. He just got too spun. But my point was, as far as the animal stuff and the slippers, when they busted him, again, he lived in the mountains. He was killing everything and skinning everything. And I think he was selling or trading a bunch of wildlife skins like you're not supposed to, like animal furs, to his connects. Like he had a bunch. You know what I mean? They hit him with a bunch of charges, but and I don't know why he didn't go federal, but he got just 100 years in the state or something. He's not getting out. He's through. That was a little random, but yeah, those little mofos are tearing up my yard. The little ones are cute. They're always cute when they're little, right? The little ones are cute, and I'm talking about woodchucks, you guys. But anyway, yeah. Okay, where did I put those glasses? Oh, here they are. All right. So, PETA came after. Right. So, Nina, I take it you're from Italy, aren't you? Hey, Ron. You mean Rob? We went to junior high school together. Are you going to do this again? And I don't understand it. Dude, do you realize how stupid this is, Joe? I don't get it. This guy every day comes up with these things. I just don't understand it. And I don't want to block you, but you're close. You're close. You should make a woodchuck stew. I'm sure you can eat it, right? And the squirrels. I went to go get my camera today to show you guys the squirrels, and it left. So the squirrels they're hanging out on the ledges right here, especially where this little swamp cooler I put in the window is. And man, they're just they're living on. They come and they stay on the side of the house. It's the craziest thing. I've never since seen it. Never since seen it. I've never seen it. You just can't eat the babies? I don't know. You ever have veal? Isn't it better? Speaking of, I'll tell you something. I knew a guy. Was old. Well, if he was alive, he'd be like 90 something right now. Had cows. You know what they did for cows for veal? When the babies were born and they wanted veal, they'd break the baby's front legs of the cows, and then so they couldn't move. Yeah. Just seasoning. But yeah, it's true. A little cruel, right? Well, we think of it as cruel. They thought of it. But as cruel as it was, tasted pretty good. Tasted pretty good, you know? I used to bottle feed the babies too. Yeah, it's true. Anyway. So, did I put tobacco in my mouth yet? Michael Franzese. Here's what's up. So he did a video weighing in on, I don't know if anybody's seen the CNN interview with the Sinaloa cartel guys, several. And one of the guys, he was a manufacturer of Fetty. So YouTube hits you if you say the actual name, especially if you start early in one of these things. And CNN goes down to Sinaloa, goes to Culiacán, and the guy she said, what do you think of Trump? Of course, it's CNN, and they were really hoping that they like talked bad about Trump, so then they could be sympathetic towards the drug manufacturers, because that's how CNN would do it. Oh my God, these poor guys, you know, which again, yes, they're making bad stuff, but I have known some of those guys, and that I've actually have been really good friends with somebody that actually lives in that area, if he's still around. But so CNN was shocked that the guy said, you know, he had respect for Trump, and Trump's just looking out for his people. And this is in regards to them labeling Sinaloa as terrorist. CNN was just shocked. You know what I mean? But Franzese weighs in on it, and pretty much everything he said, if you guys haven't seen it, it was spot on. But here's what he did. And this is a problem that I have within myself, maybe. And that is, I wear two hats for on a lot of different issues. But I have my civilian hat on, and I have my convict hat on, or I sympathize with people in the criminal life still too. You know what I mean? And I think that some of the guys, I've seen a lot of YouTubers with prison channels, prison content, and they stop looking at things through the prism of the criminal underworld, which is cool. I get it. But then they become even like harder than the general public. And I get why. As a matter of fact, somebody I know and love used to tell me I would be like the worst correctional officer in the world. I'd have been harder. I'd be the worst cop. But anyway, here's the thing. He starts talking about what needs to be done in regards to our drug problem. So the cartel guy said, look, it's ugly what I do, basically. If you've seen the CNN interview, I don't know. Basically, he says, yeah, this is ugly. It's all ugly. But America has the highest consumption rate of narcotics. If there wasn't so many consumers, we wouldn't have a job. And he was saying, I got to eat, man, you know? And I get what he was saying. But then Franzese goes on and talks about how we need to educate the young, which is absolutely true. But then he went back to the DARE program, the Nancy Reagan DARE program. How we need to go into schools and dare our kids to say no. We do not need to dare our kids to say no. We do not. We need to dare them to say yes. We need to dare them to say yes. And also, when you teach children or younger kids or the adolescents, people, you know, the 10 to 13 age, when you talk about drugs with them, people shouldn't lie. They should tell them how great it does feel. The DARE stuff was a joke. I mean, that was like a thing because I grew up in that time, you know, and that was like a big joke. I dare you to say that, I dare you. This is our brain on drugs. You know, and it was like this big joke. We had the DARE t-shirts on and all that other stuff. So there needs to be a different angle when it comes to educating the young about drugs. Also, probably wouldn't be that big of a problem if we didn't have stiff drug penalties. I go back and forth with that. You know, I do. Okay, so when you talk about Fetty, it screwed up the whole game, screwed up sentence reform. It screwed up a lot of stuff, right? So I look at me and I look at the comments. I should be looking at the camera more, but whatever, I can't. I've tried it before. But there has to be so much more. And by the way, those guys down there, if they're manufacturing that stuff, by the way, there's like a war on they're stopping that. There's a lot of guys down there that are, because of what Trump did, and they're scrambling. Yeah, there's a big war on users of FET and people who are making it. So that interview, accurate as it was, there's other issues going on down there. Steve, remember, Rob, if you don't know their name, they didn't leave an impression on you. So forget them. Okay. What do you think about Alcatraz opening back up? I like Alcatraz. I've been to Alcatraz several times. So what do I think about it opening up? So let's say they open up Alcatraz, right? So are they still going to get the email communications and everything? Which, by the way, today, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And I do believe that prisoners should be able to should be able to have a voice. I think there should be radio shows in prison. They have those in different countries. I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, if they're going and trying to start an uprising or trying to say something to victims, that's a whole different ballgame. But as far as is voicing what's going on or just hearing from prisoners in general, that should be. There should be. It was something. It meant a lot to me when I was able to have a voice from inside the walls and people were able to read it. It was intoxicating. It was intoxicating. And it gave me a purpose in prison. And I was sober during the years that I was really rolling and getting doing a lot of stuff on the internet, and people were responding. It was something. So I felt like I was part of society still. I know people would have problems with that. Nonviolent life or in prison, who was able to say what I want, and well, to a certain point. They cracked down hard on me, okay, because I was writing so much anti-Bureau of Prison rhetoric. But it gives people, especially with long sentences, some purpose and some meaning. What do I think of Alcatraz? I think that if I was incarcerated, still, I would love to do time there. Beautiful. But I will say this, if you guys don't know about Alcatraz has a yard. What they said on the tour was that they designed the yard so it catches the wind. So it's cold in the bay. It gets windy, even in the summertime. What did they say on 48 Hours? The coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco or something like that. Frisco gets cold in the winter. There's a lot of wind up there. I've surfed underneath the Golden Gate. I've surfed around there. It's cold water too. But that yard, man, it was like a warm day in San Francisco. We went out on the yard as part of the tour, and it caught every little breeze. The way it was set up, it like spins around. So guys, it made it uncomfortable for guys to be on the yard. Of course, if you've been in prison, you're going to go to the yard no matter what if you're a yard guy. You know what I'm saying? This guy says F Alcatraz. As far as reopening, it's a tourist attraction. It's old. Old prisons are actually better to do time in, by the way. And I don't care about the heating in the air. You get used to all that. They're better to do time in than the new prisons. If I was incarcerated, I'd want to be at Alcatraz. And visitors will still get there and stuff like that. But as far as for what they're saying, now, are they talking about just putting illegal aliens or the worst of the worst and all that kind of stuff there? What is the worst of the worst, really? If you're talking about mass murders and, I have problems with the way they define worst of the worst too. Okay, so we're on a lot of mob people. So Joey Testa was the worst of the worst. I always bring up poor Joey. He was worst of the worst. So should he have been in Alcatraz? He's out now. He's out. He's in the community or whatever. It's probably a waste of money, to be honest. And it just depends how they would do it. ADX, they've got ADX. I do think that there is such a big prison gang problem. Now, this is my civilian hat, okay? There's such a big problem with prison gangs, especially white prison gangs, that Pelican Bay did some good in California. I think I haven't done time out there. Look, we can go back and forth over that. Look at what's happening in California now. Now they've got a lot of problems. As a matter of fact, I got a phone call from Soledad today, inside Soledad, from a cell, and I don't know the person. It was random. It's how it happened was totally. It doesn't matter, but it's all not good in California right now. Hold on, Steve. What are you saying here? Words of wisdom from my dad that passed the same time your dad did. Steve, remember, if you don't know their name, they didn't leave. Okay, I got you. Okay, I got you. Steve. Looks like I'm high again and my nose is red. Huh. Wow. Yeah, I don't see that either. I don't even see that on my TV. Are you just trying to throw it out there and get things started? Is that what's going on? Or do you guys see a red nose? I see eyes a little low, but if you knew me, you know my eyes are all over the place anyway. You can't see my pupils really good right now. I'll show you guys something. I'm gonna show you guys something. Somebody noticed. Watch this. You can't really see it that good. You can't. My eyes are on when I chew tobacco. Well, it's really the white, the pouches. I almost don't have any pupils at all. It's the weirdest thing ever. Don't see it either. Rob actually turns lavender when he's yeah, lavender. How do you guys know? Sabu had a red nose too. Sabu had a red nose too. Yes, very cold water. Why is it better? Oh, older prisons are so much better. It's like there feels like there's more freedom. The new prisons, they're all modeled. They're all these they're all cookie cutters. They're all the same. They're rickety. They're bigger. They're better. There's better stash spots. There's better stash spots for sure. Yeah, there is. Oh, you do. So it's a pot. I looked at your channel. I think that was you. I tried to see if I'm right. You had something. You haven't done something in a while. I think that was you. Sometimes I look up. So guys that make comments and stuff, I can see, for example, and I think you were one of the ones I looked up. And I think you were doing, yeah, I think you were one of the guys. Love Joey Testa. Yeah, Joey's a great guy. When are you going to get Joey on? Never. Never. They would have to turn it into a modern prison. Yeah. Henry D, what's up? There's always a cold breeze blowing across. There he is. He's up that way. No, I don't think Joey would do a show, especially with me. No, I don't think people are stupid. I don't think, no, Joey wouldn't. I mean, so I don't know his health. I don't know. I have not tried to inquire. I'm assuming he's in Las Vegas because of his family, but I have no clue. If you were Joey Testa, would you want to come on my show? What are you going to say to me? What would he say to me, knowing what I know? Hey, Joey, why did you agree with staff? Why did you decide to put a separation on me for staff? Why did you do that? How did it feel when I sat at the Chomo table and embarrassed you? How did it, what's he going to say? You know, Joey Testa Mafia. Keep it frosty. What's up, bro? Prisoners in Australia vote. They should let American prisoners do so as well. So there are some prisons that can't vote. There are. As a matter of fact, they put memos out about that at in Butner. No red nose, frosty. Look good, Rob. Fuck them haters. It was just that was random as hell. I mean, it was just like, okay. Joseph Duncan. Okay. Hey, Robert, do you know anything about that serial killer? I don't know, POS. Serial killer Joseph Duncan? I don't, Justin. I sure don't. Okay. Yes, that was you. Okay. So what happened with the podcast? What you just it wasn't gelling? Christopher. What I can say about George or Georgie, he wasn't a Testa fan. I can tell you that. And I say, so a lot of times say, great guy. I like that guy. Georgie was a really good guy. And the cops went to him to try to stop me, and he told them to F off. And it was to stop the volume of emails. Oh, yeah, emails that I was getting. Okay. So I've said this before. When I met him, when I was at Butner 1, when I was at Butner 1, I had a couple people on the street running social media or website, my websites that I was posting stuff on. And I would wake up in the morning and it would take me an hour. So you get an hour on the computer system, and then you have to click off or it'll run out. You get an hour, and then you can't go on for 15 or 30 minutes, okay? So I would be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd be there at 10 till, with a cup of coffee, log on, stay till 7, get back on, and it sometimes would take me 2 hours. Spending $500 about a month on emails. It wasn't worth it. Well, was it worth it? Yeah, I met a lot of people, a lot of media contacts that I wasn't able to capitalize on, possibly in the future. I've still got the Rolodex. Rolodex is a journalist term for connections, and I still got the Rolodex with them, but I haven't produced anything for them, right as of right now. Rosso, what is the news you got about things going on in California? So I'll have more tomorrow. And a person contacted me for a stupid reason, to be honest. However, I don't hold it against him. Not even going to go there. And I'm asking questions. And he's a convict from California in the California politics. And I'm sure he's a little bit like, doesn't know what to do or think of me. You know what I mean? So we'll see. What am I hearing? That it's really messed up. A lot of back-to-back violence going on. That's what I've heard. That's what it is right now, Henry. Joey too old school? Okay, I think that's what you're saying. Hold on. Joey was a hardcore institutional rat. Why he didn't debrief and cooperate is beyond me. Why you wouldn't cooperate and you go to prison and you align yourself so closely with staff, I do not understand. I get this. And I'm guilty of it. Okay, so go ahead. Rosso's a rat. He just admitted he's a rat. I'm guilty of this. When you're in a leadership position in prison, or you're the rep of a unit, and you are trusted by your peers in prison and staff, it is easy to take advantage and do stuff that would be considered wrong. For example, telling staff that, okay, so if they go to a staff member, if two guys are having a beef in a cell and they don't want to live together, or they just hate each other, and they go to staff and they say, get this guy out of here. I don't want to live with this guy. Most of the time they will not say there's going to be violence, okay? Depends on the institution. Depends on if you're in a maximum security, a medium security, or even if the maximum security prison's soft, like Lewisburg was for a while, okay, so guys might say, hey, listen, I'm going to fight, whatever. And then you might be in an FCI that's more hard and that's more violent or has more politics, and guys would that'd be a problem. But they don't want to go to staff and say something. So then I go to staff and say, listen, Mrs. So-and-so, better get those two dudes out. They're going to crack each other in the head right now. That's snitching. I know it doesn't sound, that's snitching in prison. So there's all these little different ways. Or, and this is the worst thing that I have done in my gang career. I have told, you're never, ever, ever supposed to tell staff, SIS, the intelligence investigation, to not let somebody come on the yard. Okay? So if Joe blows in the hole and staff are investigating if he's going to be safe or not, okay? And they come and say, hey, is there going to be problems if we let Joe blow out? And you say yes, that's a snitch move in prison. Might not sound like it to a civilian, but it is. There was one time with the backing from one of my close bros, I had a huge store and everything was running perfect, okay? The guy who they were going to come out, and he did not want out, by the way. He refused the compound. Well, yeah, he did. He wasn't trying to refuse it and be put in PC. He didn't want to come out. 100% didn't want to come out. And they were going to force him out, which that's what they do. If you can't identify the problem you're going to have, then they won't let you out, because if you do, then that means you're going to have a lockup order that says you're scared to hit the compound, and then that will follow you. A lockup order is something that gets a lot of people in trouble. Excuse me, I'll stop spitting as soon as this wears down a little bit. But I told them, this is what I said. So I asked, can Boogie come out? And I said, how did I put it? I didn't say no. I said, I can't promise nothing will happen or something. I didn't even, that's up to you. That right there is saying that they can't let him out. I did that. That was the worst thing I've done. And I'm going to tell you something. The look on that person's face when I said that was like, oh my God, we just got Russell to cooperate. I swear to God. I have said this before. This isn't no breaking news. I've said it before. But back to my point. So when you're in that kind of position, whether it's a gang leader, whether it's a white rep for a unit, you can do a lot of stuff like that seems meaningless to the general population, but in prison, it's a big no-no. You know what I mean? So Joey Testa, he was in for sure. So people have done time with him at Terre Haute, USP, and they'll say Joey was running stuff or had a lot of pool. He did. I don't know about the shot call or the yard. I don't know, but he had a lot of pool. He did. But he got to a point to where it was just like out of control, man. You know? Well, when you say in the chow hall in front of a bunch of people that I would rather stick up for staff than 99% of the scumbags in here, referring to everybody, you've got Stockholm syndrome. So Carmine knew it. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew it, man. You know, it's just when it came to me and the situation with me, it got so bad because the staff didn't know what to do about me because I wasn't doing nothing illegal and I had way too many media contacts for a period of time. The one thing that the staff hates, that any prison hates, is for you to have media contacts. If you've got media that wants to interview you, that wants to hear from you about anything, they hate it. So they couldn't stop me. It didn't matter what they did. They threw me in the hole. From the hole, I would be writing letters, you know, and then I'd write the media people that I knew. I'm in the hole. I'm locked up in the hole for exercising my First Amendment right. So that would be like, oh, you know, so they'd be contacting the prison. What are you doing with Rosso? It was like that. And I have a lot of stuff, but I have numerous videos, a whole Butner segment that I'll do about that eventually. And, but yeah, so Joey, who was supportive of all my work, what I was doing, he was supportive of what I was writing, and I was not writing. So as staff crushed me more, I acted up more. I would write bad things about the BOP, bad things about prison, which causes a problem for the prison. So the last resort was to go to Joey. That didn't work. They put me back in the hole again. Then I got the warden on my side. The warden, all she knew, Angela Dunbar, all the lady knew was that time and time again, my name was Monday morning. They had an executive staff meeting every Monday morning at Butner. Every staff meeting for months, I was front and center, and it was overriding and over media stuff. So they went to Joey. I got locked back up for the final time. Angela Dunbar and A.W. Gonzalez came to me and said, you know, Russell, what's really going on? And I told him, I said, listen, if you let me back out, I will write nothing about Butner, but I am absolutely going to write about the BOP. And I explained everything to her. I explained the reasons they've been locking me up. I like shot it. Got her. She's like, okay. She came around the next week. Every Wednesday, they have the Liars Club. The Liars Club means every Wednesday, they come to the special housing units. They walk around and they lie to everybody. That's what they do. Because everybody's in the hole. People want to know, where am I going? Am I going to be transferred? Am I going to get out? And they lie. They just lie. Yeah, you're getting out. You're getting out tomorrow. Yeah, okay, you're going to get better food. Okay, we'll give you more toilet paper. Whatever the deal is. They just lie. They have to do rounds. They have to log it. And that's what they do. So Dunbar says you're getting out. I explained it to her. She comes back next week. I'm letting you out next week. Then she comes back and she says, okay, I'm letting you out, but you're going to go back to FCI 1. I'm like, heaven. Back down there. I'll be down there in Georgia Tech. Go back, right back where I was. Have a typewriter in my cell again. That was important to me at the time. And then they got Joey to sign a separation against me for the entire compound because they said that I can be close to him if I was, because I had to go to medical appointments all the time because of the cancer, that, and he went to the medical too, that we can cross each other's path. So he had a SEP on me. I got to Terre Haute. I find out that there was a SEP against me. Staff told me. Staff will rat everybody out in a second, by the way. So staff told me, and then years went by, and I tried to get to Terminal Island, which was San Pedro, which was my hometown. I had a lot of family there still at the time. That would be like going home. I've said this before. The first time I was a little kid, and I remember getting stoned, riding bicycles. There was a warehouse, like 5-story warehouse down at the docks. We'd go up there on our little BMXs, Mongoose, out of Mongoose, go up there and smoke weed and look across a Terminal Island. And I remember saying, if I went, so you'd see the guys in the yard, they had barbecues in the yard. This is back in the 80s, you know? And I remember saying, if I go to prison, well, that's where I want to go. So it's like full circle. You know, I was going to come back. I was going to go to where I wanted to go when I was a kid. And my case manager contacted Joey's with me there, wanted to get Joey on the horn, wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. That's your mob hero, people. That's the good Joey Testa. That's the guy. I'm a recovering addict, and I know when someone's hot. You're good. Thanks, Steve. Oh, don't know. Was curious how it feels nowadays about what he did. I got you. Like the background. Thank you. Oh, I got you, Justin. I didn't. So I'm not hip to a lot of the little stuff. Okay, Henry. Time got tight with life, but we're coming back. Hold on. Time got tight with life, but we're. Oh, I got you. I got you. Um, I don't know anything about you, but I'll tell you right now. You. Uh, Hold on. I don't want to say something. So we'll talk, okay? I think I probably will. Don't forget to hit the like button. Got 37 in the chat, 16 likes. Has Jimmy always looked like a person in witness protection? I don't know, bro. That's funny. No thoughts on Anthony. I don't know nothing about him except that he gets high too. Or did. And got a dirty. Am I ratting? Oh, that's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to say. I got a lot of guys that used to support me that when I did the Mikey, I Love My Wife video, Captain John, excuse me. Oof. That's going to hurt. I swallowed too much. It's still too juicy. I've swallowed too much. And I've got stomach problems too. Ooh, that was bad. Anyway, this is the question I wanted to pose. So I'm not going to say the crowd, but there's a certain crowd of people that hates rats that really got upset with me over saying that Mikey, I Love My Wife got high. Okay. And I will admit, I have said it before that I like Mikey. We talked, used to whine about his wife all the time, but that's okay. I used to whine about things, about my personal problems too. When I did that, dude spit venom at me, okay? So here's what I want to say to all that crowd and everybody else. I said and have said and will continue to say, and probably I'm going to get worse about this before I leave it alone, about mob guys. Matter of fact, I thought of a bunch of different mob guys that I want to bring out about certain stuff that'll irk people, but whatever. What's worse? Robert Rosso saying that a now captain of a mob family did heroin in prison, don't know nothing about him today. Or, okay, what's worse? Me doing that or John Gotti, America's favorite mob hero, running his mouth on tapes, getting caught on tape, which led to criminal investigations that furthered investigations that got people in trouble. What's worse? What's worse? Answer. What's worse? Robert Ross, who didn't get anybody busted, who took 2 years, not because I'm some anti-rat, stop snitching person, but because I grew up with the people and I grew up with them. Nobody was going to hurt me. Nobody was going to come after me. It was don't tattle, not don't snitch, don't tattle. Okay, that's why I didn't cooperate. Period. Don't tattle. What's worse? So I'm ratting now. Who's going to prison? Somebody said, well, Mikey, something can happen to Mikey now that you said that. Okay. All right. He's in that life. Okay. Whatever. Or John Gotti running his mouth, tapes where FBI agents were laughing about how much information they were getting. Just a question. Which worse? Murder a week. I think Anthony Sinner's getting out. Anthony got out. Did he not? Who's doing it? This is going to be prison people, yes. Okay. This is what is ever. He does not get FSA because of the 1 point. He gets it, but I'm sorry. Oh, that's pretty important, actually. Oh, man. Okay, fuck. I shouldn't do that, too. They say his eyes are black like a shark, 100%. The two people with the two people that you can see demonize, two people that I can think of, and somebody on OG Mike's show hit it. There was a guy on OG Mike's show. I don't know his name. He was around Carmine. He knows the deal. OG Mike, if you're on there, throw his name out there. Joey Testa and Larry Hall. Larry Hall. You guys know who Larry Hall is. Same eyes. Joey the Hall monitor. Wow, I'm actually getting a little dizzy right now. Shit. Ooh. Ah. I'm actually a little dizzy right now from that, people. The Gemini Partners. Center's out too, yeah. Gotcha, okay. I probably will, though. So, I don't know you, okay? But that's not a thing. I don't care about numbers on a channel, bigger interviews. I don't care, okay? Do you have a partner on there that is one of the mob informant guys? And I'm still not saying I won't. I saw something I don't know. But I'll look. But I don't want to lock into it yet, but I probably would. There's Kevin. What's up, Kevin? How you doing, bro? Kevin, he had an uncle who was a really good guy, Jerry Wilmette. Okay? So you talking about mob guys, Rhode Island. Oh, God, Kevin, I hope I got that right. Connecticut, Rhode Island, good guy. He was close with Joey Testa. He was the one that begged me to please stop sitting at the table. Jerry did. And it was really Jerry, when it comes right down to it, he kind of walked me back a little bit, you know? And I will say this, Jerry did say, Joey said, where are we going with this? Meaning, you keep talking about the prison, you're going to get inmates in trouble, basically, prisoners in trouble, okay? And Jerry came up and it had nothing to do with visitation. But he was very sensitive. He talked a lot of sense. And I did time with him in the shoe, and that's where I got to really like him. At first, and Jerry loved John Gotti. He did, okay? He was part of the Joey Testa crew. They were really super close. They walked every day together. At first, I didn't know what to think of Jerry because, he had letters from John and stuff, which is a big deal. John wrote him. He was in prison. He got letters from John when he was in prison. And so I was like, okay, this guy's like a real John fanboy. And Kevin, I don't mean that in any disrespect. That was before I knew him. But when I got in the shoe with him, what was the incident over? I think, did I do a video about it? There was some guy, he was a rat. I think Jerry said something about him being a rat, and the guy did like a sucker punch on him. It was a real bullshit move he did against Jerry. But when I went and spent a couple weeks with them, then got out, and he was instrumental on the issue with Big Red, JoJo's guy. That's when I got to like Jerry. And it was when I got to Butner too and saw him, it was really good to see him. And I talked to him quite a bit. Just a good, all around good guy. Really was. You any guys from Ping Gang? Oh, P9. Bones. I was with the guy named Bones, and he was in Fort Smith. And Burris. So one of my friends' brother was one, but not like the big names, nothing. Gotti by far, thank you. Yeah, there you go. Yes, Kimball, that's true too. No, Henry, but so I did something about JD saying he was wrong about a video. He reached out to me, and I am supposed to be doing an interview with Ian Beck or whatever his name is soon, next month or right after. And at that point, because they've got all the contact information, they know each other and a couple of other guys. I was going to reach out to JD after that. Plus, I wanted more time because there's some things I want to talk to him about. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. What's more mob than ending up in the boot of your car? Don't tattle was before don't snitch. That is real. I live in Arkansas right now. I live in Arkansas. Man, I'm dizzy right now from tobacco, you guys. What a oof. Let me see, do I want soda? I'm literally dizzy and having a hot flash. Literally. That happens sometimes. I swallow too much. After I chew a pouch for a while, I will swallow it. Wow, I'm like a little bit rocking, to be honest. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. And my stomach is rocking too. Damn it. Is there a time you can recall when you were scared knowing you had an issue coming? Knew you were going to get beat down in jail? For sure. There was times when I was going into the Arkansas Department of Corrections at first. I was scared and big, meaning that was the fattest I've ever been in my life. It was like 270. I figured who was going to look at me and see love in their eyes. In Arkansas, it didn't matter. Big, fat, young, old, it didn't matter. There were a bunch of rapos and stuff. So I was scared down there. Yes, there's times. I'm trying to think of specifically. I had to be about owing money. I ran deep debts. I was always able to handle them. I had outside sources for one. Probably there was a time. There's been a few times, but I'm trying to think of something specific. So when you're scared, or just thinking somebody. Well, yeah. So I talked about that with the Mexican mafia, with the ME dudes, and they were lined up on the yard, and everybody, including a couple of my bros, thought it was for me because there was a dude named Spanky. He was actually, he wasn't prospecting. He was about to get his patch or whatever they call it when you're a made member of the Mexican mafia. So his people knew that he owed me $50 for a while, and he was on me the night before about paying the money. And I'm like, dude, what's changed besides the fact of your status? This dude was a scumbag, okay? Meaning he burned a lot of people. He was a person that he didn't care who he owed and how much he owed. But then when they started opening the books, if you will, that they don't call it that. And they pulled him and he was going to become a black hand. He changed, a little bit. And he was on me and he was 100% in the right. And I was not intentionally slow playing him. I had a puzzle piece. So I was borrowing from Peter to pay Paul and until my money hit or whatever. And we're talking, I was in debt, $1,000 or better. And with a bunch of people, but then I would pay off. So I was always known as Robert pays, but he's slow pay, 100%. So I had like a gold card. I can get credit from anybody, but on that issue, because of his status had changed, because the night before we had a heated conversation. Well, there wasn't a conversation. It's like, dude, you've been slow playing me, blah, blah, blah. And I was. And then right after the conversation, I'm leaving the gym and he saw me cop dope. Just pissed him off. I did. Hey, that's what the D's for. Okay. Newsflash. If you're in prison and you front somebody drugs that is a member of the Dirty White Boys, always remember, what does the D stand for, people? Stands for dirty. Stands for dirty. Okay? Did you ever come across a Bath Avenue guy? No, Tommy was a close friend of mine. Tommy was a close friend, and Tommy was a great guy. Ian Bick, yeah. Real close with Tommy. Takes me back to the 8th grade. Okay, admit that your resent towards the AB stems from the fact that you're a Reno Rocket. You're a complete moron for saying that. I never, ever in a billion years, wanted to be in a prison gang. Never. I was drunk. I joined because I was drunk. Literally, this is how there's a video about it. This is how I joined the Dirty White Boys. I was running with the guy named Dusty. Okay. Then let's just say there's 10 Dirty White Boys. I didn't like 8 of them. That's not true. I didn't like 6 of them. And I'm just generalizing. Okay. I didn't mean to call you a moron, but whatever. I don't care. You know what because of the way you put the resentment towards the AB, like I wanted to be an AB. No. So here's how it happened. They kept locking me up every time the Dirty White Boys got locked up. Well, I was locked up in general, but every time they got locked up, I got jammed up. So then the night that I got the letter in the mail denying me my 2255, which is basically your final appeal in the feds, the night the letter came in, okay, denied, I was drunk. I was super, super bummed because I thought that I had action. I was locked up with Dirty White Boys. Oh, I was in the hole already for a hit or for an assault that me and another DWB did, but it had nothing to do with the Dirty White Boys. It was just anyway. And Kenny Lassiter, who I did the video about, who got killed, who did the shootout with the cops, was in the cell 2 cells over from me. There was 16 Dirty White Boys on the range. And we were all drunk on the doors talking. It was the Dirty White Boys and the Bloods. That's the entire tier. Bloods were locked up. And he said, "Hey, Rob, what are you trying to do with your time, cracker?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" What was the exact words? "What are you trying to do with your time? Are you in or are you out?" That's almost the exact words. He's like, and everybody's like, "Yeah, Rob, what are you trying to do with your time, bro? You're around us, you're fronting or whatever." And I look over at Dusty and I said, "What?" He says, "Dude, they're wanting to know if you want to be tipped up." There was no prospecting. There was no prospecting. "What are you trying to do with your time, cracker? You know that?" I took a big drink out of a cup. I look at Dusty and I said, "Man." And Dusty goes like this. And I look and I said, "I'm in." That's how I joined the Dirty White Boys. Everybody started kicking on the door. That's what happened. Okay? That's what happened. The next day I went to rec and they beat my ass. Out of love. Beat my ass. Beat my ass. All of them, except for Dusty. That's how I joined the Dirty White Boys. So let me get to your AB thing. When I came into the federal system and was around the ABs, they got punked out. Punked by Robert Wolf. Red was on the compound. He was a dirty white boy turned to AB in the ADX. They sent him out there. They knew he was a lame. He was a lame. They knew he was a lame. They sent him out there because they wanted somebody on the compound because Leavenworth was an AB yard. Okay? I've told this story a billion times. Maybe you never heard it. So Robert Wolf, we were on the compound, the California guys and the dirty white boys. Red gives a speech. Okay, guys, just got word from the hole. T.D. Bingham, Barry Mills, Big Mac, they were all there. They were all in Leavenworth for the trial, for Big Mac's trial. They were sending kites out telling the guys to go hit the DC dudes. Okay? They were on. They were all in. I was just there. Would I have gone? Probably. Probably. I was running with everybody and I was from California. And Red said, all right, I'm going to do this on Halloween. The Dirty White Boys are going to do it in the Chow Hall. This person's going to do it here. And Wolf said, whoa, whoa, whoa. What? What are you going to do? Well, me and some of the California, we got to stay back for like what's going to happen afterwards. Wolf looked at him and said, do what? No, check this out, man. Go tell your sisters. Go tell your sisters. Blah, blah. And by the way, the poker tables, they're ours now. That's what he said. So, Miss Reno Rocket, as evidenced by your affiliation with the Dirty, why would I want to join a gang that just got punked out by the Dirty White Boys? Why the hell would I want to join a gang? I didn't want to be a gang member. Basically, what did I just admit to everybody? I succumbed to peer pressure. Like a punk. Whatever. Say what you want. Say what you want. Why would I want to be an AB if I saw that happen? And then I saw the Dirty White Boys take the tables. Now, when I say take, there was only Red there. The money stopped going to the brand at that point and went to the Dirty White Boys. So I ask again, why would I want to be a part of a gang that stays in the hole, that lives in ADX, that I now know is full of homosexuals? Talking about the California, not talking about California ABs, talking about the brand. By the way, they said, okay, well, a lot of the guys from that time were homosexuals. I want to keep pushing that out too. I want everybody to, because guys, even nowadays, that would resonate so much. I don't care if they were from the 70s and the 80s. If it was drilled in the head that T.D. Bingham and Barry Mills did boys, that would not pan well. That would not pan today, right now, would not pan well. And right now, there's a member of the ABs who's in the feds who likes boys and is not the top, is the bottom. And I'm going to do something about him, but there's a person that I'm in contact with that let me put out certain things, but wanted to wait on that. Hope that answers your question. I lived in California and I'm terrified of the first few months. Again, California Aryan Brotherhood members, I don't know nothing about you. I was in Chino. They were all locked down. Different breed, different people, but all gangs are the same when it comes down to it, really. Did you? Yeah, bullshit artist. A77, bullshit artist. Okay. What has changed besides your status? That's some gangster shit to say. What has changed besides your gangster status? That's some shit. I'm not really sure. If the guy you're threatening to block is the one with the jokes are ridiculous, petty, why be even here on podcast? Respect from the kid. Gary, thank you. So I don't like to block. I did block one guy and I haven't unblocked him and I forgot what his name was now. Foosball. Who else rides their bike with no seat? Not sure. Rosso has said that since the beginning. They beat you, Rob? No, nobody. Was I referring to were you referring to the thing with spanking? No, I didn't get, nothing happened. I haven't, this is like, the last time I got beat up was 1997 and I got stomped. Since that time, I've been in 13 altercations. Just saying. Nothing gets you as excited as talking about the AB as a California boy. You're fascinated by their mystique. You want it in sour grapes. Hey, Reno, if it makes you feel better to believe that, that's fine. I just explained and have been explaining that since the beginning of this channel. Doug Ross, what's up, bro? Pete, Kevin, that name doesn't ring a bell off the top of my head. It doesn't. I'm not sure. It's possible. So a lot of the guys, KSM, hey Robbie, what's up? A lot of the guys, when names are popped out. So even sitting at the mob table, which I did with in Butner 2. So I would know maybe on first name basis. So, yeah, Kevin. Yeah. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. Anyway, a coked up skeleton. I forgot what you're saying about that. Anyway, yes, I'm not sure about that. So what else on topic of this? Michael Franzese. Okay, so Michael Franzese, I wanted to clear that up. He did a good video. That's true about that. When it came to what we need to do as far as drug education, because that it's absolutely true what he said as far as going back to educating kids about drugs. The DARE program was stupid. It didn't work. And he was advocating hard for that. And then I want to go on to something else in current event topic, which is, and this is way off of prison stuff, in the media. I'm watching this stuff, and you guys probably know. I mean, this isn't no surprise. I watched ABC News the other night, and I'm watching this, what happened with Trump in the White House with the South African president. And I'm watching different news sources, so Fox, Sky News, different ones, right? And then I always watch CBS or ABC at least once a day. I do a lot of news, right? And it was sickening how Democratic media or the mainstream media, how they come off, and their narrative when they talk about Trump, like how he disrespected the South African president, how it's just the whole. Oh, I know what it was. It was the starting of ABC News last night. It's like, and President Trump and the South African president tells Mr. Trump, not even president, tells Mr. Trump that he doesn't have a plane to give him. David Muir, homosexual extraordinaire, tells him, yeah, he was like, they're like all serious. Now, if you listen to that whole news segment, at the end, the reporter will say, oh, the South African president was joking. But if you watch headline news, you would think that the South African president basically said, Mr. Trump, I'm sorry, but I don't have something to give you, like Qatar or whatever. Was it Qatar or whatever? Like, who's giving him the jet? But it was just so misleading and so disingenuous. It's such bullshit, you know? And it's really sad. And then you got the whole Biden thing going on. And I do believe 100% that there's people, there's that guy was the president of the United States, and how they were covering for that dude. When everybody can see he was in decline. And then they got, basically Hunter Biden was the chief of staff. You know, God bless Hunter. God bless Hunter, you know, snorting blow and running the country. Whatever, you know. Anyway, where's King Dom? Did he pop up yet? Hold on. There he is. Hey, King Dom, we have to talk. Okay, you're lucky you never got any more beatings. You've been single even long. Okay, you're lucky you never got any more beatings. You've been single even longer. Then you were robbed. Last weekend, you ended the show. You were about to say a little on our bro, Benny. You're lucky you got any being. You've been single. You've been so long. Then you were robbed. Okay, I'm missing a little bit. Okay, I got it. So Benny, I'm just a little you just a little bit. Doug, hold on. Was Howie Winter from Boston in Leavenworth, San Antonio? He was the former boss of the Irish. I don't recall him at all, Justin. Okay, here we go. Standing watch while the Toads gang raped that white boy's pretty low. I'd keep that story to yourself if I were locked up on the West Coast. Really? Okay. So you're telling me on the West Coast that it's okay for a guy to have a black queen as a wife on the West Coast, right? He had a queen. That was my queen. Now, I'm not saying anything about interracial marriages. Nothing. We're going back to prison in 1998. So you want to bring the video up. By the way, I did the video. I put it out there. Unabashedly, unashamed, don't care. Did you listen to the whole video? What happened? Did you see? You're making it sound. You just pulled an ABC News. I'm going to start calling you. Reno, you are now from here on out. Reno Rocket, your name's David Muir. Okay? So David Muir. He was homosexual, by the way. David Muir, by the way, you just misled the audience. Okay? So David, when that happened, there was a guy named Will Moore, out of California, by the way, homeboy. Scumbag dude, okay? I'm going to tell everybody I'm going to get this story, so he brought it up. So David Muir brought this story up. Let's do this. So David, here's what happened. I was at Leavenworth. Not there very long, okay? Will Moore prided himself as being some kind of California wood. Okay, so there was a guy named Brain Drain from Michigan. He had a scar on his head. His scar was like this. He was slow mentally. He was slow. And he would not stay out of the black TV room because he identified more with blacks. All right, a lot of guys do nowadays. Totally different. We're talking about, okay, from 1998 to 2002, when I was at Leavenworth, if you were white, and you even said, yo, 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 you got your yo-yo smashed. There was a guy named Terry Brown who was a GD that was white. That was an exception. There was one more guy that was white that hung around blacks. Otherwise, smashed. Wrapped. Wrap these nuts. That's what happens. You got smashed, okay? Period. Was no talk. This guy, because he was slow, was warned to stay out of the black TV room, okay? He didn't. Got warned again. Whites and blacks. And then there was a dude from Texas, Slim. Another dude from Georgia. That were booty bandits. They also made moonshine because some white guys from California, homeboys, taught black guys how to cook shine. Oh, imagine that. California white guys taught a black guy to make shine. Why? Because they paid him because he was a dope fiend. They gave him some dope to teach him how to make shine. That's a violation too, right? David Muir? Okay. So here's what happens. They went to Will, California Will. They went to him and said, hey, keep point. You guys don't want him? We don't want him. Okay. We want him. We want him. Brought him in the cell. Gave Will some pints of shine to keep point while they did what they did to the white guy. Okay? Went to a California guy to keep point. I'm walking by. California Will, homeboy, says, hey, Rob, want some shine? Yeah, what's up? Hold on. Stay right here with me, bro. Stay right here with me. What's up? Stay right here. Oh, and back up. What's up, bro? They're going up and do what? Just stay right here, bro. Stay right here. What's going on? They're going up in Brain Drain. The dude from Michigan with the scar? Yeah. The dude with the black queen. Huh. I drank some shine. That's what happened. So yeah, kept point. Probably. So Yogi came over. So there was about a couple other guys came over. Texas dude came over. Actually, that guy, I think he wanted in on the action. He was an admitted trisexual. He tried anything. As a matter of fact, that particular guy had an 80-year-old guy named Jack, who was an old gump, who was interviewed because he knew Bonnie and Clyde when he was a kid. Jack had no teeth and would run around, let me suck it for a cigarette. He was sucking dudes for cigarettes. And Yogi put a mop wringer on his head and told everybody about it. Yeah. So California homeboy Will stopped me, gave me free pint. I knew what was going on probably a minute or two into it when I heard the shut up, boom, lap. 8 dudes ran up on him. Probably eight dudes. And I will say this though, it was pretty sad afterwards watching this guy because then he was on black time. He was ostracized by the whites after that. But yeah, but the sad part about the whole thing really is the dudes didn't like him, first of all, because he had a black old lady, okay? But he wasn't, that people still want him to go in the white TV room. He wouldn't stay out of it. And he was mentally challenged for sure. So that's the sad part of it. Anyway, David, we have any more questions? Any more comments from David Muir? Let me know. Michael Franzese is coming from the right place, but yeah, the message ought to change. I don't answer it. People always want to escape life drugs thousands of years. You're right, Gary. You're right. King Dom, hey, I called you. The number you left me a long time ago, matter of fact, a half hour, 45 minutes ago, there was a voicemail. I was looking for a different name. The name on the recording started with an L. So that's all I'm going to say. I don't know if that's your phone. That's all I want to say. What, you're some kind of fanboy of the AB? Okay, no, it's all right. I'm just so, if you're going to come at me correct and with stuff that you could, and this goes back to this, you can't, I don't have skeletons in my closet like that. And if something comes up that I'm not thinking about, I will own it, talk about it, not make up excuses, and tell you exactly what's up. So I asked David, any more questions? King Dom, my friend, ambush. Reno Rocket has a lot to say. David Muir. His name is David. It is not Reno Rocket. It is David. Ambushed. All they did was keep asking for money. I'm sorry, I missed. Okay, wait. He keeps saying you're killing white farm. Okay, I got you. Okay, you were going back to the topic that I was on. Yeah, he keeps saying you're killing white farmers, and the South Africans keep saying and that it's happening to blacks. So, genocide. Is it genocide? So I know the whole argument about the South. So I've been infatuated with South Africa for many years, and one of the reasons is there was a surf flick back in the 70s, 80s called Endless Summer, and I am standard foot. If you guys know anything about surfing, there's goofy foot and standard foot. Standard foot means that if the wave breaks right, you face into it. Goofy foot's left foot, whatever. So it would be a left foot forward if you're standard, front of the board. I've never seen a wave a right break as long as Cape St. Francis. So at that point, South Africa became something like that I was really infatuated with and always wanted to go to. And then when I was in prison, like I was telling you guys about, so when I was doing a lot of corresponding with people, I met a lady from South Africa. And after I did the Bernie Madoff interview, there was a bunch of different South Africans that I reached out to. Okay, one second. I'm so sorry. I really did have to do that. Okay. So nobody else needs to mislead on Trump. He's okay. All right. Let's go there. Okay. Nobody else, working man, and I respect this. Nobody else needs to be misled on Trump. He's horrible by himself. Okay. And I respect your opinion and your views on that, for real. It doesn't matter if right or right. You need better sources of news, Robert. You sound retarded. So what source of news? So I'm going to watch mainstream media because that's what a lot of the country does watch still. I mean, well, it's mainstream media, all right? The legacy media. So I'm always going to watch something out of the legacy media. Fox News, different podcasters. How can this guy saying Trump by far the worst president in history? So as far as sounding retarded, are you one that says he doesn't like the Constitution and he's bad for the country, yet he just closed the border? Huh? How's that working out? So you want everybody to come steal your job? Nah, that's not true because there's too many jobs. So I don't know. Whatever. I'll respect your opinion. Said retarded. That just kind of got. I want to know your rocket science behind what you're saying. If you're calling me retarded. Yeah, thank you, Keep It Frosty. So, and here's something else, people that might not know about me. From inside of prison walls, the same stuff that I'm talking about now, well, with the exception of just bashing the mob. By the way, not like I was fearful about it. So let's be totally honest here, okay? I live in the backyard of the Universal Aryan Brotherhood. Some people might not think that's a big deal, the Universal Aryan Brotherhood. The UABs have done more than the Aryan Brotherhood ever thought that they can do, money-wise, okay? I don't want to hear about Barry Mills starting banks from in prison and blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear about that. The drone drops, they got food, they went and took people that were bringing the food to prison, okay? The food that you get in prison, there's companies. They found people in those companies, did things to those people, didn't want to do it. They were bringing in boxes of drugs from prison walls. They were doing 20-kilo drops, having people on the outside that they didn't even know. Random people. If you got a call from people behind the walls from the UABs, they would put you on their, especially, they'll drop on your word. They didn't even know you because they had enough people to come do that. So not like they used to be right now, okay? But how stupid would I be to sit there and trash dudes that live right here? That could, I can see it right now, okay? Let's see it right now. A lot of them on meth. Okay? Most gang members, newsflash, are on drugs, okay? Even the ones that preach we don't get high, on drugs. So I imagine 3 prospects for the Universal Aryan Brotherhood. They're all in a house. No lights, no beds, okay? Bunch of parts, like a moped. 3 guys on a moped, they get this moped running, okay? They see me on YouTube. 3 guys with no teeth on a moped. What? He lives where? In Hartford. 3 guys coming over here. Kill him. Why would I want to put myself in that guy? You understand? That would be moronic, okay? And they're not like the mob. They get high and start plotting shit. You know what I mean? The mob ain't gonna. I don't even care. So that's my little joke. And I've actually told this story, so I had that memorized before. But you get what I'm saying. You have to be at least 35 years. Why not have a max age of 65 to be president? Dude, Trump is rocking it at 80. I don't care what anybody says. You can like his policies or not. The dude's a beast, man. I don't care what you think of his policy. The dude's a beast. He did it. Now, I don't like him constantly trashing and bringing up the prior administration. I don't. But when it comes to the border, when it comes to the tariffs, genius. What that dude just said, something about Trump is a worst president. Genius. So, working man, you are fine with the United States getting ripped off like they have been? Who's the genius? Who's the retard? Come on, man. Seriously. Are you an AOC fan? Are you? How did that George Floyd thing all work out for us? How did that all work out? How did the no bail work out? I'm all down for criminal justice reform. Democrats blew it. They blew it. And this whole race angle that they played, man, I'm so glad that so many black dudes got it now. I am so glad. And it's changed. You should see the tide on Trump, how it changed. I was watching it from prison. I saw it before Trump's first time and this time. And there used to be a few black dudes on the down low. They didn't talk about it out in the open. Now there's like rabid Trump supporters in prison, you know? So that dude is as American as they can get. And people say, oh, he's for the rich. There's so many up and Nancy Pelosi didn't enrich herself, and the Democrats didn't enrich her, and Barack Obama didn't get rich off the presidency. And look what they snowballed the whole country. The Trump-Russian collusion. I'm the retard. Come on, man. Stop. It's all right. It's something to do. Yeah, I can't. This is the same shit he does when Mob 2 weirdos say stuff to him. Make fuck. Okay. You were about to mention some stuff about Benny, I believe. I know I asked about Benny a bit, but be nice to have Benny on again, or maybe fill the chat in about this. Okay, so Benny, I know Benny Giarratano. Benny Giarratano, I talked to him when I got out. He was pumped up, ready to rock and roll. He's still in New York prison. Pumped up and ready to roll. Okay? And it was about I'll tell you what it was about. Why I couldn't do it. Two things. I did not have $20 to open up an account. I did not have $20 to open up an account for his prison stuff. For not core links, to get phone calls and stuff. You have to, and the emails. I didn't have $20. I didn't have an extra $20 until 2 weeks ago, probably, and still just barely scraping. Borrowed $100 from my mom last month to pay bills. I'm only doing, and we can get into all Robert, you should do this and that. I'm making a living off of YouTube right now, and it's not making very much, but it's paying my cost of living is super cheap down here. Okay, the channel is growing every month. I get progressively making a little bit more. It's not all I'm gonna do. Okay, so I don't want to get into all that. But Benny Giarratano, I didn't have the $20 to do that. B, I didn't have the plug-in microphone for your phone to do the recording, which cost maybe $10. I didn't have the microphone or the money to even go buy one. Nor was I asking anybody for it. Do you see me begging on YouTube? I will say donate to the chat if you will. Do I get off the air if nobody's donating? I rocked 3 hours before and got $5. Whatever. So I'm not begging and I'm not borrowing no more. I'm not doing that. And I won't commit crime. I won't do it. So Benny then starts getting upset. I got like a phone call. Benny's mad at you. Then he left and tried again. Then he went into the feds. I do not know. Now, maybe he can't do something from the feds. Maybe he can't talk freely. Maybe the phones are, I don't know. I don't know. But I also do know that Benny was assaulted by my brothers via Danny Fama and Jimmy Ida and other mob guys, okay? They paid the dirty white boys $2,500 or better and some grams of heroin to hit Benny, okay? They all didn't like Benny. Benny, I was not there. I was gone. Benny's story was that he whooped my brothers and didn't get hurt. He did whip the first one. Then he got piped. And I said it. I don't know if he's upset because I said the truth. And I talked to guys that were involved in that. So I'm not gonna. I like Benny. I've been a fan of Benny. I will give Benny a platform. Now, also, I had so many dudes that I had so many guys that, you know, he's got his story, which is good, fine. Everybody should have a voice, and I give everybody their chance, and I still will and would. And he's entertaining. He's funny. I love his shoot from the hip style. I don't know if he got pissed because of that. I don't know. And then there's Tommy Reynolds. Tommy Reynolds, when I was doing the stuff about Jimmy, I talked to Tommy Reynolds. Okay. Tommy stopped calling me after this. I believe it was this I did the original thing about Jimmy, and then I did what happened with Jimmy and Tommy's girlfriend. And after that, I talked to him, I think 1 or 2 times, but the sources of that story. So I don't know what Tommy knew about that or didn't know about that. But anyway, Tommy hooked up with Chad Marks. Chad helped him out, got 5 years, knocked off his sentence. And I knew that Tommy was going to do Chad Marks' interview. Okay. Again, I go back to what I just said about begging for money on YouTube or how I don't. I'm not begging for interviews. I'm not saying, come on. I don't do that. I just don't. Period. Anybody. It's just me. Now, since Tommy got out, and when I found out, I did send my number, my new number, because that's another thing. My phone, I had my phone number. I had 2 to 3, I had 2 phones, 3 phones at one time, but 2 phone numbers. Then, like a dummy, I've got a different phone. I upgraded. Plus, the phone that I had, the original phone number that I had, was a friend of mine. The friend of mine has a big company, 400 employees, and he gave me a phone when I got out of prison. He's the guy that picked me up. We had a falling out. I was part of his company when I got out. The Saving Children, Reviving Souls. It was hooked up. That phone was free, and I never paid a phone bill. When I decided to leave that company, my friend was not happy. He did not want me to do YouTube and do my stuff. It's a long story. He's a great guy. We had a falling out in part because of my addiction issues, okay? And other things. But when I did my own thing, then I said, okay, I'm gonna go start paying my own phone bill, okay? Well, I tried to get the number put in my name, but it was hooked up to his phone, and we could not make contact to where he can give AT&T permission to give me my own account. It was always on his. So I had 2 phones for a minute. Then when I got out of jail after the first violation, and my wife and I had a falling out, and we split, I was high one day, went and switched my phone. I got a different number at that time, I think it was. Yeah, they gave me a brand new phone for free to switch carriers. And then I had to switch phone numbers, and then a lot of people didn't have that number. So I reached back out to Tommy's people. They got my message. He's never contacted me again. Never to this day. I am positive that somebody in his family doesn't want him aligned with me in the drama of the channel or whatever. That's me. I don't have any knowledge. This is what I feel. And I'm fine. So also, so that's it. That's it in a nutshell. So, but when it comes to Benny, I've just not heard from him. He's got this phone number. I would answer it. So he did call a billion times, and I didn't answer it at times. Oh, by the way, when he was calling at that time, people know, some of them know, Dom knows, I'm very almost tech literate, getting better. See the thumbnails? I can do a little bit more, even though they're still trash. I'm getting better. And when he would call, my phone didn't ring, and then I would find voicemails of all these people that would call, but they weren't on my contact list, I guess, right? That's what I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So I'm assuming that he felt that I was just not answering when really it was going to the call, whatever you call it, call forwarding, to going to voicemail. And I didn't know that he was even calling those times. That's the Benny story. And then there were so many people that were reaching out and sending me paperwork about his guilt or innocence and different stuff. Okay. But that really had no bearing. But I would have 100% for sure during an interview said, okay, I got this on. I got this. This person says this. I 100 for sure I would do that. Not in a sabotage way, because I have to maintain some kind of credibility. I just can't be all one-sided. If I ever do real journalism work again, I can't just be so, you know what I mean? Opinion's great, but if you're doing something like that, when somebody's adamant about their point of view of events, and you've got this, I've got to do it both ways. You know what I'm saying? I think that answers your question. But Dom, okay, going back. Okay. Benny hasn't hit Rob back yet, but yeah. Benny isn't yet. Okay. Rob doesn't know some of these people are trolls. Yes, I do know they are, but so David writes, Rockets brutal what they did, Rob. We know about Rocket. Hey, Henry, I remember when you talked about that. You're talking about that guy, Rocket in the Jack Shack. Weird. I think you dialed wrong. I'll check the number. I'm not going to put the number out. What I did was, you sent me a number. I just pushed the number. So I didn't dial a number. Whatever you sent me, I just pushed it. And then it went to a voicemail. Hold on, let me make sure just real quick. This take 5 seconds. It was you. There you are. Okay, hold on. Is it the same number? Oh, it's totally 2 different numbers. Oh my God. I know what I just did, bro. I know what I did. You gave me somebody's number. We talked. We went back and forth. I get it now. I get it. My mistake. Okay, I got it. Remember the other day? Okay, I got it. I know what I just did. Sorry, my bad. Unless maybe you call. There it is. Now we go. Ooh, full charge. So this is a good. What are the better waves? So you would say Northern California. However, there is a spot in Southern California. There's 2 spots on the Palos Verdes coast, Lanada Bay. And there's a place that nobody knows. Trump built a golf course over the top of it in Palos Verdes. So if you guys go right now, if you really want to know, boy, I haven't been there in years. And let me tell you, if you guys don't know something about surfing, talk about gangs. So when I was a kid, there was local spots, and you couldn't surf local spots. The way you really did is you'd have to go by yourself. You know what I mean? It got territorial. So when I was a kid, I hung around people from San Pedro and people from Palos Verdes / Merrill / Rolling Hills, whatever. Okay. So the 2 groups, and there was, let's just say 5 and 5. Let's just say 10 of us, 5 from San Pedro, 5 from there. So we Pedro guys couldn't go where they surfed. They couldn't go where the Pedro guys surfed. Okay. Their cars would get jacked, or they'd get beat up, or we'd get beat up. That's how it went down. So we found a spot that it really was really out of the way. And the waves weren't. So San Pedro has a spot called Japs Cove. These waves break, and so does BA's. BA's is in Palos Verdes. They break. Every wave breaks identical, every single wave, because of the reef. Okay. Japs has an awesome, well, both. It has an awesome left. BA's has a perfect right barrel. It's a short wave, but it is awesome. So Northern California has the reputation for better waves like that. However, there's people that do not know that spot. Now, Trump built the golf course, pissed a bunch of people off, but they did build a staircase so people can walk down there. But the staircase they built was at the break that we claimed as kids, the 2 people from 2 different areas, and we named it. It was called Hollows. I actually named it. I was the youngest guy and named it. Uh, it was going to be called Nectars or Nectar Sweet. It ended up being called Hollows. That was our break. We put um, we put a shack down there. So we built shacks out of driftwood. We were on the coast, and it was wonderful. As a kid, man, it was a kid. It was great. It was great. We stayed down there, girls down there, notched how many girls you did, all that, panties, hung pants. We did all that, and it was great. But I would say for sure, um, that BAs and I did not surf BAs often. I would if I went today and I was surfing today or something, I would go there. I wouldn't nowadays. I wouldn't care. I couldn't care less about the young kids. Whatever. I don't have fear like that in me anymore. Been beat up. Been there, done that. So I would go out there. Plus, I'm old now, so whatever. But that wave, best kept secret ever, and you couldn't see it from the road, so it was really, really secluded. But there was an Indian guy out there, actually, Native American, that lived up there, and he was vicious. He was okay. I remember Rob said, I hear you, Dom. Okay, I remember Rob said that. I forgot that, man. UAB, someone's from all okay. UAB, someone's from all over, from like Oklahoma. So the UABs are really from Oklahoma. Oklahoma. Frosty, hold on, let me see what you said. Hold on. Give Frosty, give Frosty, give Frosty. Hold on, I'm trying to back up and see what you said. Oh wow, it's okay. Oklahoma used to be the yeah, there's still stuff that goes on there. New Orleans. Yeah, so I've been out there. There's places that uh especially there's a black community in Oklahoma that still has a lot of that. There's still a lot of that stuff goes on. Trump is plugged into the INSO. I was referring to Biden. Felons arguing about politics like we can vote. I can vote. I can vote. I don't know about you. I can vote. I got my voting rights back. George Floyd OD'd. Glad he was sober years ago. Oh shit! Somebody's writing me right now that is watching, that knows what I'm talking about. The cockfights. Okay, Rob. My first wife had a first cousin, ex-con Clayton. I'm outside working in the barns of the joint, moving veggies around. Wait a minute. Rob, my first wife had a cousin, ex-con. I'm outside working in the barns off the joint, moving veggies around. Well, I see Clayton in a 5-ton. Well, fuck, instead of bringing in hacksaw blades, okay? Hey, life almost votes. Hey, zero, I'm felon. Whole life almost got our votes back in 24. I voted for Trump as a felon for the first time able to vote. Yeah, so when I got out, I got off paper and I get the stuff and I registered and I'm registered to vote. Rob, will you get going, brother? I got faith, Rob. He will be back around, bro. No begging here, man. Okay, I talked about Benny. Thanks, Dom. Thank you. Is that why I'm getting dinged too? So I think I'm getting dinged for that reason. Maybe. I think. Appreciate you. Gotcha. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. Kingdom, the Bitcoin you mentioned yesterday. Can you put the names for them in the chat? Okay. Henry D, you know it, man. He's the biggest Don in the USA. Henry, okay. I get what you meant. Okay, there you go. Okay. Okay. I will call you after this live. I need to talk to you anyway. Live. Okay, now I'm going to shut the phone off because it's being. Okay. Got to go credit. My paper's way up too. Right on, Jake. How you doing, man? But people remember coin. Okay, I remember grabbing a coin small amount. I spent like $25 on. Okay, you got that's actually a coin you guys are talking about. If memory's correct, Henry D. My memory used to be photographed before I died. Still, I was going to talk to you about that too, Don. King Don. Hope you're doing all right. Keep it frosty. Norby Walters. Keep it frosty. Same to you. Thanks, Henry. I'm listening to the show in the background while I'm fiddling with something. What are you fiddling with? I'm just kidding. All right. So what other? So I wanted to touch on the Franzese current events. Where is P Diddy? Did you guys see that he was caught with guns? And this is what I didn't understand. You guys could enlighten me, maybe, since I have fake news sources. So we got AKs, we got guns with serial numbers off, we got drugs. How come there's no state charges against them too? I missed something. Or are they going to see if he's going to mistrial or something's happened? Why is there not something else there too? So if they've got these drugs, they hit his home in Miami, they've got guns with serial numbers. I really could be missing something. How come there's not state charges filed as well? Because I know even with me, they hit me with state charges and federal charges. I mean, so I'm not getting that part. That's one of the things that, as far as current brand, into the penny. I was writing things down. Into the penny. Do we care about into the penny? And Harvard. Fuck Harvard. Harvard. If you're getting donations from the government, whatever. Thanks, Henry. I'm just listening to this on the back. Okay. Because he's a rat for 30 years? Yeah. Okay, no, I got you. But they're on him like that. Let's say he was a rat for 30 years. You know what they do with a lot of rats after they use them up? They book them. So, I don't know. Harvard. That whole Harvard thing, man. Okay. Funny about you talking about surfing holes and fighting for the holes. Sounds like us kids chasing kids out of fishing spots. Yeah. Yeah, right? No, surfing. And I'm going to tell you, so I was in prison. And so Lanada Bay, if you guys don't know, really, really wealthy area, okay? It's in Palos Verdes. It's on the Palos Verdes coast. Rich, really rich area. And even back then when I was a kid, the older guys were about it. Like the dads and stuff were about it, you know? And what I mean by that too is, so cars popping tires and smashing windshields was a big deal. You know what? I got a funny surf story. So remember that place called Halls I was just telling you about? So there was about, okay, let's just say 10 of us that were allowed to surf there, right? This is me again. I did this. I brought a friend of mine who was San Pedro boy all the way. So I started school a year young. My mom made me go to school a year young because she wanted to go to work probably or whatever. Got tired of being the stay-at-home mom, whatever. But they pushed me up a year young. So I'm younger than everybody else, but I hung around even kids in the older grades. So there was a guy named CJ, and I went to school. Okay, I stopped learning in like the 7th or 8th grade. Then I had to go to public school. Speaking of surfing, I did not make it into high school. Catholic school, you got to take a aptitude test or whatever to get in. The day that we had the test to go into Catholic school, there was a big swell. It was a summer south swell. You surf, you understand in California what a south swell is in the summer. Okay, it's like you wait for these south swells, and then in the winter it's north swells. And I remember walking to school to take the test. This is in like the second week of summer. Sick because the waves are pounding, and smoked a joint on the way there, and you felt little bubbles, you know. I knew it was all bad when I was like the first one done. Okay, I knew it was all bad right then. Didn't pass. And it was because as soon as you got done, you got to leave. And I remember circling. We were in two different classrooms, and I was like two of us. There was like 4 or 5 of us that were surfers that were gonna. And when I say run, we're talking about 8 blocks. We would run back and then run the mile to the beach or whatever, almost a mile. I mean, just sprinting, right? And I'll never forget, like, just hurrying up, going through the stuff, and then I get up in the class, and I get up, and I'm looking around, and my friends aren't done. And one of them was like a real smart dude too. And I'm like, oh shit. But nevertheless, I took off, and I beat it down there. I got in the water first. A couple weeks later, get the news in the mail. You didn't pass, but you can go to summer school. And then I cussed a nun out in summer school. I called her a bitch, and that ended it. So I had to go to public school. Going to public school to me was the equivalent of going to prison. People asked about me being scared. When I was scared going to prison, I was trembling when I went to public school. I went to Catholic school. I was a white kid. Looking back, I would think memories that it was a bunch of white kids. My best friend was like Mexican, but we didn't look at nationalities like that. But there was a bunch of Mexican kids in our school, right? One black. And I went to public school, and there's like actual gangbangers there and like maybe 5 blacks. And it was like, oh my God. Right. And I never learned. I was 3 years advanced over everybody else. The public school system was literally 3 years behind Catholic school. So I never had to learn. Okay, let's skip to the story I was trying to tell. So I bring CJ to Tajalos, to the surf spot. This bastard, man. He was a San Pedro dude. He was in with the in San Pedro surfers. I was not in with the in San Pedro surfers because of my affiliation with the Mariless crowd. Okay. And he brought 20 dudes down there. It was crazy. And my friend Sam, we used to bring guns. Used to bring guns down there, blast guns, seals, everything, dude. We killed everything. Lobsters. We used to take lobster. People used to drop lobster traps, and we'd scuba dive, free dive, and take lobsters. That's like a killing. That's like a no-no, right? CJ brought something. My friend Sam unloaded. There was guys in the water. He had a shotgun. He was blasting those dudes. Not trying to hit them, but that's the kind of surf shit that was involved in when I was a kid. And when you go, and if God forbid you have a surfboard from San Pedro and you went out of state, it was big. It was a big deal. It was a big deal. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Just not using drugs or guns. The guns were for playing liquor tractor. Yeah, gotta run. Got a few things. Okay, Dom. Take it easy. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you. Rob, I had a graduation in grade 8 into 9. That's the only grad I've seen in my life. I always thought, what the fuck are having grads in the 8th grade into high school? Okay, so let me tell you, Doug. So in the Catholic school system, you graduate in the 8th grade, and that was the only graduation I had too. In the 9th grade, I didn't even go to the graduation. You know why I didn't go to my graduation in the 9th grade? I passed because I did cocaine instead. And it was, I'll never forget, it was when there was actual, not what they're doing nowadays, but there was pink Coke back then for a while. And my parents also, my dad traveled a lot, and my mom will go with them sometimes. So my parents there was like a thing where my parents were going out of town, and my mom was like, oh, we're not going to see your graduation. And I'm just like, okay, just go. Just leave. It's okay. I'll go. Don't worry. Yeah. Anyway. XBR looking good. Crypto looking good after victories. Starting to get brought up by institutions. 1 out of 4 out. Looking for it long term. Okay. Well, I'm late on the mentioning of crypto. Didn't mean to come out with some random. It's all right. Random comments in this board. You're welcome. You can steal lobsters if they're poaching. Boy, trembling. Here, 8 to high school, then 9 to 12. Okay. So yeah, that is the Catholic school system, how it works. In normal places, it's 1st to 6th, 6 to 9, 10 to 12. And then I went to pink Peruvian flake. That's what it was. Yeah, you're right, Doug. Yep. That's right. It's okay. And and then I got my first drug bust was in high school. Yeah. I I did a short. I said something in a short one day, and there was a dance club we used to go through in Santa Monica, and I was out all night with and had I banged a girl that was 20, 19, 20, 20. I just turned 15, and I was thought I was God, and went to school, didn't even go to sleep, went to school and had an ounce of weed in my backpack and a little film canister bottle for personal, and ditched first period, smoked a joint with a couple guys. We came back during second period, and there was there was a big high school. There was a lot. Several thousand. There was two narcotics officers, Salt and Pepper is what we called them. When I walked by, they smelt us. They smelt the weed. And I'll never forget, there was 5 of us. I had a backpack, and I put it on a ledge, and there was my backpack fell down. So when they searched everybody, we were good to go. And then I grabbed my backpack. They're like, hey, come here a minute. And I'll never forget, the entire second floor was watching us. And they opened up the bag and pulled out, and the whole upstairs goes, oh! Oh! Into jail I went. And then I was busted 2 more times in 2 more weeks. Pink Coke. Yeah, it sounds like the fuel they used to make. Heating oil. Yeah, diesel. Keep it frosty, diesel. So there was a bunch of gasoline / diesel Coke in 1987, 88. And that is why I can go and whistle in my nose. 6 months. My nose was gone in 6 months. Yeah. And that, not just me, a whole bunch of friends. We all lost our sinuses. Deviated septums because of that. Yellow fish scale that smelled like diesel. So the yellow fish scale that smelled like diesel, huh? I never had fish scale that smelled like diesel. How do you become a member? There's membership thing, Henry. Oh, speaking of, I've said that the other night, and I did talk to Primo. He wanted to do something. The membership, it's not on your phone, or are you looking at a computer? It should say it right at the top, memberships. It should. I'm not seeing it now either. What's going on? What's going on? I don't know. I don't get it. Let's see. It should be at the top. It should say memberships. I got membership, little star. Levels. There's 2 levels. Actually, there's more, but I took them all. Whatever. You can't find it? Huh. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to make sure other topics. What was my other? Yeah. I don't know. That's about it. I mean, I'm not saying that's it. I'm just saying I wanted to pink coat. How do you become a member? 39. Memberships are harder to find on a phone. Huh. They use fuel making it. I watched a documentary when they would just dump fuel on it in the middle of the jungle while making it. Man, have you seen the way that I saw the Coke thing. I saw the cocoa leaves, the way they're making it not long ago. I never manufactured it and been a part of manufacturing methamphetamine ever. But man, it looks awful, right? It looks awful. Okay, wait. Memberships are hard to find on the phone. Tell them to look at your channel through PC. Okay, look at the channel through PC. But I've seen it on the phone before. I don't know what's going on. Should be able to sign up. Huh. That was stashed in gas tanks. Really, it gave the smell it tastes. People tell me that speed is packed in gas tanks now, and it gets the stink. So I haven't done it. Android's easier, really. I haven't done, so it's been over a year, February last year with the meth thing. Uh, I never, I never had the taste of gasoline with the meth, whatever they're calling that nowadays. Anyway, that stuff that it gets you high, but it doesn't, and it's weird. But you want more, and it was weird. Cocaine always had diesel fuel, other fuels. So this is what I was always told, and I don't know. So we were told back in the day, actually, and I'm going to say this: Coke did have a yellow tint to it. It every time I threw up, everybody either gagged, puked, or had to immediately hit the shitter. Every time you did a line of that stuff, every single time. I don't buy gas speeding. It's that way. I don't buy gas seeping in. But that's what, really got to leave. But that's what we were told, that it was seeping in. I remember that. And then there was the Coke in '89 that came in kilos, but they put cardboard in the middle, and you open it, and then there was baking soda in the middle. Oh my God, that was a big ass problem. Oh. Okay, I got you. Not from gas. Okay, wait. I forgot how to do it on the phone. I'll look. I know you can get to it when someone gets a membership because the tag pops on the message and you click it. Okay. I've had seriously yellow Coke before, hard but brittle. Really, just plain yellow. It's on the PC. My buddy does it and said it stank like diesel. And that's up in Canada. So I've never heard of that here. Later, King Dom. And I got your number now. I screwed that all the way up. It's not sleeping in it. It's just stored in. Oh, got it. Okay, got it stored in the tank's lung. Yeah, it stinks all. The Trump administration does say that there's fentanyl coming out of Canada. Is there truth? I never really heard about that coming. Anyway, anyone. So I don't know about Canada and fentanyl coming across the border. I'm not really sure about all that. Anyone else get amped up doing fish scale compared to normal? Diet Coke. that was Diet Coke, huh? Well, Rob, it's coming north in trucks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, through the agreement, the NAFTA or whatever it's called. Yeah. Anyway. Fruit punch. Anyway. So, anything else? All right. Well, maybe it's been 2 hours. What time is it? And I do have to call. All right. I do have to make a phone call. Saturday, I don't know. I might be Tulsa on Saturday night. We'll see. We'll see about Saturday. That means tomorrow night, probably. Not much. Was like 1 kilogram in California and 5 tons across border. So real quick, when the Trump administration was talking about this, there's a problem with fentanyl crossing the Canadian border, and the Canadians are like, "What are you talking about?" And it didn't make much sense to me, but who knows? And like I said, I haven't really. It's been since before I was out, and really with the fentanyl stuff was 23. It wasn't even in 20. Yeah, it was 23 when I knew anything about it, to be honest. Not a better. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and go. My Oklahoma friend, I'm going to be calling you in just a second. And I'm out, you guys. Take care. I appreciate you guys being here. Probably then, because I think I am going to be gone unless I come and we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen Saturday. I know I'm going to go to Tulsa for a little while. So take care. Have a good one. I appreciate you guys being here. Good night.